Thank you for coming into our live. The reason for this one is yesterday Bank of Canada did not raise the rate, and that after doing 8 consecutive increases in interest rate, overnight rate. I'm sure we're all tired, um, but why did they not raise the rate again? And that's the question I'm about to answer in this live. So, with that being said, I will get right into it. My name is Faizal Garasia. I am a mortgage agent with Dominion Lending Center Mortgage House. And before we begin, a few things that will help you with this staying present in this live and understanding and gathering as much as you can. A quiet space, headphones, turn your phone on silent. Best to avoid multitasking, like checking email, texting, all that stuff. And kindly stay present by sitting down, because when you sit down psychologically, you're more present. And my apologies for the cough. I've got my little tea going, but I can't seem to be getting rid of this cough. Topic, Bank of Canada interest rate pause. Again, thank you for attending. This will take about 10 to 20 minutes, not long. The video will also be recorded and posted on YouTube and other social media platforms. Please ask questions in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer. I'll answer all of them at the end. And at the end of the live, you will learn why Bank of Canada decides to hold their overnight interest rate at 4.5%. Connect with us. We're on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. At least those are the major ones. Twitter as well, but I'm not so active there. The number to call is 416-825-0142. You can call or text. We also have a website, bestratemortgage.com, bestrate-mortgage.com. You can download the app from faisalgarasia.com. And the topic is, why did Bank of Canada not raise interest rates yesterday? So for the first time in the year, so they've been raising rates over the past year. There have been 8 consecutive increases, and Bank of Canada did not miss a single chance to raise the interest rate, to the point that there were, there was a 1%, 0.5%, 0.25%, different raises, but they did not miss any opportunity to raise the interest rate. Now, that being said, why did they not raise yesterday? They have also released an explanation as to why they're pausing, and I will be doing more lives with where I'm taking some of that content to show you exactly why. However, I have my own opinion and my own analysis, I should say. I'll show you on the following slides. So, global growth. Let's take, so before we get into the Canada and the rate and the mortgage, let's take a step back on a bigger scale. And the reason I say this is, on the globe, you look at it, there are some major players, there are some minor players. And when I talk about players, I'm talking about countries that have a bigger impact. There are countries that have medium impact. There are countries that have smaller impact. So when you think about that, you also have to look at their economy, because we are in relative to the rest of the world. We're in G8 and such. So we are considered, Canada is considered a developed country, not a developing or underdeveloped, because that's how the world is categorized. Countries are categorized. So we're close to, we're in the developed countries, and we're also very close to IMF, which is International Monetary Fund. So, with that being said, I'll bring it right down to more, and get rid of the jargons and come to more reality. Um, Global growth continues to slow. So it was pandemic, and it went skyrocketed. Now it has started to come down. The growth has slowed. So that adds. So if the global growth is slowing and us pushing, Bank of Canada pushing the rate up, will slow the economy much faster, pushing it into possibly a recession. So that's one of the reasons. Inflation, while it's still too high, after doing 8 increases, they're seeing that the numbers are no longer going up, they are stagnant or slowly coming down. Now, remember, after doing 8 increases, you also need time to have those increases take effect. So, as we speak, if I can, from my analysis, if I can say, first couple to few have had its effect, full effect, but the rest of the ones, the last 5 of those, I would say they have not taken full effect yet. They're in the process. So you want, closer to 6 out of 8, I would say closer to 6 of those should have taken the effect for them to go further. So that's another reason. Basically means that it's still in the process and we're waiting for the final numbers before we start pushing more. Inflation eased to 5.9 in January. February numbers, by the way, are not out yet. They're coming out March 14, 8:30 a.m. And I will be doing a live for that purpose, reflecting lower price and increases for energy, durable goods, and some services. The decision to hold rates steady was based on assessment of recent data, of course. Inflation is slowing, economic activity is stalling in the fourth quarter of last year, and all of that, all my data has been sourced from Bank of Canada's site. So you're welcome to go and read on it. It's a long read, but there's lots of good info. And more importantly, I've taken the pieces out and they're right here for you. In Canada, economic growth came flat in the fourth quarter. So in 2022, end of 2022, it wasn't going up this way like crazy. It was more flat, lower than the bank projected. Because Bank of Canada projected in third quarter of 2022 of a certain increase that they will see in 2022 last quarter, and they did not. Therefore, that tells them that okay, well, things look like they may be coming under control. Let's not push more control, making it difficult to recover. Because remember, inflation is a problem, but recession is also a big beast. It's it's like it's like a double-edged sword, and you really have to. It's a good balance, and I must say, out of all the countries that economics that I explore, because I go through global data, I haven't seen another bank of any other country doing a better job than Bank of Canada. In fact, when I look at some of the decisions made by Bank of America, they I don't fully agree with them. However, Bank of Canada, I agree more times than not, a higher percentage. Not that I'm a fan of them, so don't don't take it that way. But they are very diligent, and I must say, the leaders we have in Bank of Canada are powerful, great people that are looking for our our well-being and country's well-being. Sometimes our well-being does not align with country's well-being, but they look after the country's well-being. Price increases for food and shelter remain, no questions. Believe me, yesterday I was doing my groceries and I felt the pain. It is, it's no joke. The prices of food have gone up. However, I will say food and shelter prices have gone up not just for inflation. It has gone up for various reasons. Supply chain interruption, and you name it. There's a whole lot. The seasonal issues, like for example, I'm in Toronto, Canada, just east of Toronto in Canada, and snow has been three times what I've seen most years in last 10 years. So that's global warming in itself. There was snow up to my, like above my knee one Sunday morning. I woke up not long ago, which is where this cough comes from, because I was shoveling my driveway for the longest period. I remember taking small breaks, coming in and almost spending three-quarter of my day shoveling the driveway. So that's one. Supply chain interruption, not having good quality seeds for some of the farmers in some parts of the world that cannot afford good seeds. There's a whole lot. There's fertilizer. There's so much. But food prices are not just like Bank of Canada decisions don't necessarily affect food prices as a whole. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, shelter, of course, remains high. And after all these rate increases, the house prices are still not coming down to what they were pre-pandemic. No questions, they won't. Why? Because we've got a large immigration um, data where there's rest of the world immigrating to Canada for various reasons, and our job markets are like unemployment rate is almost, I think, if not lowest, it's in the countries like that have the lowest unemployment rates. Our employment rates are very, very good. In fact, for example, my home, if I need a cleaner 5 years ago, I could make one or two phone call and I would have someone same day or next day. Today, I make a phone call to get a cleaner. I'm not getting one for 7 days minimum because they're all jammed up that way. Their schedules are booked. And half the companies I call don't even answer. They don't have time to answer calls. So, that speaks to how the position of cleaner has changed from 5, 10 years ago, where they were looking for jobs, to now the jobs are looking for them. That tells you a lot. In any case, I'm on 8th slide. I gotta move forward and fast. I said 10 to 20 minutes. Here you go. We'll be at 30 minutes mark talking about cleaners. The latest data remains in line with Bank of Canada's expectation. That CPI inflation will come around. Now, to be honest, CPI inflation 3% in the middle of the year, that's a bit aggressive. My analysis, and I do run analysis on my way. It's not as full-fledged as Bank of Canada, but it's more on a human level. And I would say 3% is aggressive. I would be surprised to see 4.5, 4. I'd be surprised to see 4 by the end of this year, and hopefully reach 2% next year. I doubt that. Don't get me wrong. I love Bank of Canada's analysis and stuff, but those two numbers are a little aggressive, a bit dangling carrot. That's the best way I can say it. Next. Conclusion. So with that being said, basically the Bank of Canada decides to hold the interest rate because slowing down of inflation, which is already below 6%, which is a fact. And March 14, there will be numbers from CPI of February 2023, and they will be interesting to see what they look like. Governing council will continue to assess economic developments and the impact of past interest rate increases, uh, and it's prepared to increase the policy rate further. They have warned us that the policy rate might go further up if they're not seeing the slowdown of economy as as well as they should. The bank remains resolute in its commitment to restoring price stability for Canadians and Canada as a country. Remember, if you are in a position where you sort of question some of their decisions, their goal is to look at Canada as a country. You're in a part of Canada. I'm assuming you're Canadian when if you're watching this, um, but you're in part of Canada, and it affects humans differently than when you're looking at country as a whole. But I must say, they are doing the best they can with the resources they have on hand, because and I'm taking a little bit longer, but I will mention Bank of Canada has interest rate fluctuations as one of the tool, which is monetary policy. And monetary policy, and within the monetary policy, my apology. They also have bond market, because Government of Canada holds bonds, and last time I checked, it was at 60%, or closer to. I haven't looked at the recent numbers, but I'd be surprised if it's not already at between 40 and 50, because and that's something you don't get to see often, because rates is an announcement. The other one is not really an announcement. It's just sold and bought in the market, bond market. So and because and those that buy and sell affects fixed rate mortgages. So and fixed rate mortgages haven't been going up, so the bond market, must be they must be selling. So I feel like that is another tool that they're already using. So because they're using that tool, they can take a bit of pause on this one, and sort of see how the effects have been for the last 8 increases, at least last 5, 6, which may be in the works. With that being said, all of my content is from Bank of Canada, so you're welcome to click the source and read on it. It's a long read, but a good one. Well, it's a dry read. It's a financial read, so it's sort of dry, but I enjoy it, and I do take time to read it. With that being said, connect with us. I answer every single phone call that comes in. At least I'll answer and say, hey, I'll call you back. That's my goal. Call, text, and all the social media is there. I can't stop coughing, so I'm gonna let you all go. Feel free to give me a call if you have anything. Email, text, I'm available. Thank you, and you all have a good day.